we want to check was that particular lesson useful. Okay, because if not, then we'll try other means to get you started. So that there's some tools for you to have somebody speaking to you or watching some video that you can understand. But you're not going to do anything, then very little for us. Okay, who is not workbook?
Those things then is why I was like immediately like incomplete and not
Okay. So you prefer to just answer and don't want those who drop down, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you don't find that one thing that you.
Okay, let's go to page 138. Before we go into any of the solutions, after Monday lesson, I hope you know what this one actually means. Sine 150. In real life, you cannot have a right angle triangle that is 151. So what this one is referring to is actually when there is a 150, we are looking at this right angle triangle. Okay? This right angle triangle that is in red. Your 150 is referring to this right angle triangle. And then, if we want to find the sine, what they are actually asking us to find is the opposite over the hypotenuse. Okay? So this is actually what the question is talking about. But, like all your acute angle, the sine of every angle is already inside your calculator. That is why we just press calculator, we can find the answer already. So your calculator, no difference from finding an acute angle. Just key in sine 150, then you will get your answer, half. Those haven't tried one, take out your calculator, go and press.
There's no way you can tell me what is sine 150.
How did my Apple Pencil sound? So when you press your calculator tells you 0.5. Okay? Okay? So once you understand that, you don't need to draw what I draw. Every time they ask you, you just press your calculator. So cosine 120 is negative half. Your calculator will tell you. Okay? Because why? When we are talking about the cosine of 120, my x direction, my adjacent is going in the negative direction. That's why when I take the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse, it is a negative value over the hypotenuse. That's why your cosine, the value come out will be negative. Okay, that is the reason why it is negative. Can? So the rest is just key in calculator. Press calculator, sine 163. 0.2923 SF. Cosine 148. Negative 0.8483 SF. Okay? Can? Not difficult, huh?
Okay guys, the table for question 2, right? Sine 15, the value is wrong. Can you all go and use your own calculator and check? So that's assuming error one. Don't take it for wholesale. Check sine 15, the 0.423. I don't think so, yeah.
Okay, sine 15 is actually 0.259. Okay, so this question, they actually don't want you to use your calculator. They should have specified, then you will know. But what they actually want you to know is, remember, if we go back to the larger than 90 degree, this right angle is the same as this right angle with this supplementary angle. So if that angle is 124, this angle here will be 56. And the sine of 124 is the same as sine of 56 because both of them, the opposite is here, the hypotenuse is here. Okay? So the sine of 124 is the same as the sine of 56. So what they want is not for you to go and press the calculator, but for you to identify that the sine of 124 is the same as the sine of 56. Then from there use the table. Then the table, sine 56 is 0.829. So reading from the table, sine 56, 0.829. So your sine 124 is 0.829. Okay, as for part B, cosine 99. Cosine 99. There is also a supplementary angle here. And this supplementary angle is 180 minus 99. So it is 81. Alright. So we must know that the cosine of these two angles, when they ask us for cosine 99, it is related to cosine of 81. That one we must straight away identify already. So cosine 81 is inside your table. They give you already 0.156. But is cosine 99 the same as cosine 81? No, because if you refer to just now that question also, you see this one 120 with 60, but they are not the same. Cosine 60 is half, cosine 120 is negative half. So the value is the same, half is the same, but the cosine of the obtuse angle, we must add a negative sign of the cosine of this supplementary acute angle. Okay? So cosine 99 is not the same as cosine 81, but it is the same as the negative of cosine 81. So it is negative 0.156. Okay? I highlight this negative. Can? Okay, try C and D. Those who haven't tried before, go and have fun. Identify this sine same as which acute angle, this cosine same as which acute angle.
So what is the negative?
Huh? Why need the negative? Because when we are talking about the cosine, we want the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. But the adjacent of 81 here is a positive value. But when we're talking about this 99, remember I show you the y-axis, x-axis. Now this time my A is going in the left. So my A is a negative value for this 99. That's why your end up it will be the negative of your cosine 81. But this one is in real life don't have one. Real life don't have this larger than 99 right angle. This one is by theory one. By mathematician come up with one. So which is why it is a bit.
What's the mathematician's name?
Can 145. So if we want the supplementary angle, we take 180 minus 145 equals to 35. then sine 145 will be the same as sine 35. Then I read from the table 0.574. Okay, so this is the step. First I find what is the supplementary angle, then sine of 145 is the same as sine of 35. Then I read from the table. So this one also same. I find the supplementary angle. Or if you can do mental sum, good lah. 6 lah. Okay? So cosine of 174 and cosine of 6, they are related, but they are not exactly the same. I must add a negative to the supplementary angle cosine. Okay? But still you will need to know your tuakaso. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Bonus question. What is my sine x? Hey, come, those who finish already, think. It is equals to 3 over 5. Very good. Okay? Because it is still my opposite over my hypotenuse. And what is my cosine x? 4, 5? Negative 4, 5. Very good. Okay? Can? Okay, then let's go to next page. You will be able to find already if you can answer my question just now. It is still your sine cosine. Sine of angle ACB, this angle here, what is the sine? Back to your tuakaso, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So sine of ACB is 12 over 37. They are not asking you to find the angle, they are asking you to find the sine of the angle. So it is just this fraction over here. You don't need to do any further already. This is the answer. Don't go and batok ichi, go and sine inverse this thing, go and find the angle. They never ask you for angle, they ask you for the sine. Okay? Then for part B, sine of ACD. ACD is this angle, the outside one. Okay? But the sine of this outside one, we are still looking at the same right angle triangle here. We are still looking at the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. So it is exactly the same as sine of ACD. Okay? Then with that, you should be able to do the cosine part also. Go and write down yourself. Cosine ACB, cosine ACD. Can? You all should be able to get 35 over 37 and negative 35 over 37. Okay? Gabriel, what is thinking already.
Mr. Ong is thinking about D and T. Very excited.
Thinking about D and T.
The people very excited.
Oh. Okay, sign of PQR. By now, any difficulty? Don't have, right? You have a right angle triangle. You want to find the sign of this angle. You identify what are the opposite. Where are your hypotenuse? Your hypotenuse is here. We are talking about this angle. Your opposite is here. So if I want the sign, sign of the angle PQS. So this time round, this angle we also look at the same right angle triangle. Okay, so sign of PQS also same. Cosine PQR. Okay. This time round we don't know the adjacent, but right angle triangle. The two things that we are always related to right angle triangle, Picasso and your Pythagoras theorem. If I know these two sides, I can find this side also. Huh? You all given 40 You found 40. Why you so fast one? Flexing are you? Okay. So the longer side square is equals to the two shorter side square added together. Your Pythagoras theorem, longer side square equals to the two shorter side squared and added together. Then you can write down, so your QR is the square root of 41 square minus 9 square. Let me check if it is really 40. It is. Square root of 1600 equals to 40. Well done. So the cosine of angle PQR is equals to 40 over 41. Okay? Okay. And your part D, cosine angle PQS, is also talking about the same right angle triangle, but this time round my adjacent is considered to be negative. So it is the negative of this cosine, so it is equals to negative 40 over 41. Okay? So don't care we draw the which direction. As long as the acute angle, cosine is always positive. Obtuse angle, the cosine is always the negative of the acute angle one. So it is always negative. How are you? Okay not? Can then we continue
Hey guys, let me remind you question 3 is N-level favorite question. It will always come up, especially part D, 4D, 3D. These are the questions that will always be tested during your N-level exams, because they like to test you whether you understand the difference between acute and obtuse angle for cosine function. Because sine don't give us, you just press the calculator will give you a positive value. But it's the cosine that allows you to think of it. Is there a difference between acute angle and obtuse angle?
Okay. Then your question 5. That one, this one is another one. Recently also just came out in your national exam. They want you to find the possible values of theta. Then they tell you this angle can be between 0 and 180. This line is very important. Okay? So highlight this line first, then later I come back to it. Okay. You are finding the theta, meaning this time they want you to find the angle. So what is the angle? If cosine theta is 0.23, how do I find back the angle theta? Maybe some of you forgot already, yeah? All these values are saved inside your calculator. So your calculator already know cosine of what equals to 0.23. Just that I need to call it out from your calculator. Then I know that cosine theta is 0.23. What I want is theta. So I have to cosine inverse my cosine. So that they will cancel away, I can get theta. But when I want to cosine inverse the left, I must cosine inverse the right. So when you know the cosine theta is 0.23, what you need to do is you cosine inverse 0.23, then you will get back your angle. Again, this one you have to go and press your calculator, shift function of cosine, then you press 0.23, close bracket.
So what they do in the day super.
Okay? This one we do in chapter 8 before already. So this 8, question 5a is like a revision. The new question is question 5b. When sine theta equals to 0.5, if I do the same thing, I sine inverse my 0.5, I will get 30 degrees. But if you only write 30 degrees, you will only get half the mark from the question. If the question will be 2 marks. But if you only answer 30, you will only get 1 mark. Okay? Because they want all the positive possible values between 0 and 180. So 30 is not the only solution. Okay? If you press your calculator, sine of 150 degree, you will also get 0.5. So there are actually 2 answers for this question. The possible value of theta other than 30, the other one you have to take 180 minus 30, then you will get the answer. The supplementary angle of 30, the obtuse counterpart, the obtuse friend of 30 has the same sine value. So after you sine inverse 30, because they say the answer can be between 0 to 180, then you must know also this 150. Okay? So this is the new thing in chapter 9. Also, this is a popular question that will come out in your national exam. Recently just come out only.
Okay, I'm just writing an example for you to compare.
Okay, so practice.
She got undefined.
Yes.
Yes.
All your ratios, right? That means if I cosine something, sine something at one angle, the maximum is between 1 and -1, or -1 to 1. I should not get 1.2, 1.5,
I told you all before, your sine can only be smaller than 1. Your opposite is always shorter than your hypotenuse. So your fraction won't be bigger than 1. Okay, go and play with your calculator. You should be able to get all the answer. Kai Ying, sleep already. Okay, just write this line. Theta equals to sine inverse 0.5. Theta equals to sine inverse 0.3. Then you get your answer. Then you find the other answer. Cosine theta inverse negative 0.37. So for the negative cosine, your calculator straight away tell you already what is the angle. And there is only one answer because cosine is negative. So the acute angle you will get positive, so you cannot get the answer from the acute counterpart. The acute counterpart will give you positive 0.37. So cosine negative, you only have one answer. Okay? Yes. Yes. Wow. Why you so fast?